Hi everyone, today we are going to be doing a road trip to Porto, which is about 550 kilometers away. It's actually going to be tomorrow, so I'm low on charge right now at 16%, and we're going to be departing tomorrow morning. So I'm going to fill up, charge up to full, and we're going to leave Algarve and drive all the way to Porto. Last time it was 2 stops. It's most likely going to be 2 stops again, one at Alcacer and another at Fatima. If you haven't watched my previous video, I did a review on the TestLogic, which is this device that you install in your car and you use your phone as the mobile dashboard. So you can see that my phone is now the display behind the driver's steering wheel, which alleviates the problem that you have in the Model 3 and the Model Y. This isn't a problem in the Model S. If you watch my Model S review, you can see that the Model S has the display behind the driver's steering wheel or yoke, depending on configuration. So I'm going to charge my car today. Let's see how long it takes to charge to full. It's on 16%. Our precondition to get here, it is 6:41 p.m. So I'm going to charge fully and then drive home, and tomorrow morning we will continue filming. So see you guys on the other side. Morning everyone. So today is the next day and we are on schedule. We're going to be going to Matosinhos from Vilamoura area, and basically I've checked 3 different apps to see what the estimated time was. The Tesla app, which includes the charging times, as well as a better route planner. Interestingly, it actually varied between the Tesla app and the better route planner, as well as Google Maps, just to see what it's like without charging, just the total distance. Google actually gave quite a wide-ranging figure for how long the drive is going to take. I think between 4 to 6 hours. With charging, it looks like it's going to be around 6 hours. So let's take a look and see how long the drive actually takes, including charging. I usually charge a little bit more than what's required to continue trips at the Superchargers, because I sometimes do drive a little bit aggressively and it consumes a little bit more energy than what it predicts that I need. So the first stop from Vilamoura is Alcacer, and from there we will be driving to the next supercharger in Fatima. Apparently one of my subscribers told me that Fatima is like a Tesla sanctuary, because it was one of the first, if not the first, supercharger station. So probably get some lunch there this time as well. So we'll show you guys around again. And in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about, my experience of owning this car for almost 6 months now. I've driven 10,000 kilometers already, 10,474 according to this. So I'll give a bit of a lowdown of whether I'd buy this car again, and what I've learned, and things that I don't like, as well as things that I love about this car. So stay tuned. Remember to click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. According to the estimates, I left the house with about 92% battery. We'll arrive at Alcacer with 23% battery, and what it's telling me to do is charge at Alcacer for 35 minutes, because I'll arrive with 24%, and then I'll drive to Fatima from there, which is another 2-hour drive from there. If I depart at 11:35, I'll arrive at 1:45, and at Fatima I need to charge for 1 hour. At Fatima I need to charge for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then we can arrive in Matosinhos. So basically we're gonna be charging twice for quite a long time. A lot of you are probably so confused, especially if you're new to the channel and new to Tesla. You're probably confused as to why I can't make the trip in one go. The rated range of the standard Model 3, the EPA range is like 400 kilometers, and the WLTP range is like 500 or so kilometers, and I've got the standard range model. Obviously it's because when you drive highways, the range is severely reduced because of high speeds. So EVs ranges work differently to fuel-based cars. Fuel cars actually are more efficient on open roads and highways, whereas EVs on the other hand are actually more efficient in like lower speeds. I would say between 40 to 60 kilometer speeds is like the most efficient. So to get that rated range, I'll have to drive at that speed. Obviously, I could try that, but it would take hours for us to get there, so I'm not going to do that for this video. But anyways, another thing I want to talk about was I recently got this phone mount and this device that you install in your car called Test Logic, which basically adds a second screen behind the steering wheel, which is lacking in the Model 3 and Model Y. I made a video about this product and how to install it and did a short review on it. You can watch the video over here. But basically, I can have all the information about the car behind the screen here as well, using my phone. It's compatible with Android and iOS. And what's great about this is that it actually shows a lot more information that you don't normally get on the screen immediately. So basically, I can see battery information, what the current draw is. Basically, right now I can see the current draw is 300 watt-hours per kilometer. That is very high. And what's also nice is that whenever I get autopilot prompts, it also duplicates on here. There's no delay between this screen and that screen, which is great. So yeah, if you're interested in this product, remember to use my referral code European and Tesla, link in the description, to get 10% off your purchase on the Test Logic as well. So we'll be driving for the next hour and a half to get to Alcacer and we will see you. Oh yes, one last thing I forgot to mention was this is one of the first times I'm doing this long road trip with autopilot, because all the previous times I had been striked out. So I've actually been striked out a total of I think 11 times now, or is it 15 times? Basically, I've had my autopilot disabled for a week multiple times. So this time I actually have all 5 strikes available. What's annoying about Tesla, the striking system, is that it doesn't reset you after a week. It resets you after a week of... So it doesn't reset you after a week, as in your strikes don't get reset. It resets you after you've last been struck out. So you could be on the 4th strike for months and driving on good behavior and stuff, and then you can make one mistake and then you can be disabled for a week. That kind of is what happened to me. So all our previous road trips happened to be when I had been striked out, but this time not anymore. So I have 5 strikes available. I think 4 strikes, either 4 or 5 strikes. I don't want to check now and get striked. So you just gotta trust me on that. But this trip we are definitely gonna have autopilot, which is a huge convenience because it makes the drive so much easier. Alright, so we will see you guys at Alcacer do Sol. I will show you guys the trip summary, how much battery weight was used. I'll talk a little bit more about the car when we're sitting down while the car is charging. We are arriving at Alcacer do Sol's Supercharger, the one at Gulp. I've been here many times. It's one of my favorite places. We have never actually driven into Alcacer to check out the castle. We'll probably do that on our next trip up north, because usually on the way back down south it's really too late, like we arrive late at night. So maybe our next trip up north. So we arrived a little bit ahead of schedule. As you can see with this Test Logic, I can actually change these screens by using this button here once autopilot is disabled. Unfortunately, it also changes the distance, the autopilot distance, when autopilot is not enabled when you do this. But when autopilot is enabled, it doesn't change it, so you can always have it fixed here and then move this when autopilot is enabled. What is happening here? I think it might be full. I'm not sure. Potentially. And why is the guy not parking it? I wonder if this one is broken.
Like before?
Yeah, well, it wasn't this one that was broken, it was actually the other ones. Let's take a look. So you gotta back up straight onto the stopper, and basically this Test Logic actually shows me how much is currently being used, and you can see my average speed was 125, so we got here pretty quickly. It says 35-minute estimated charge time. Let me plug it in and see, and we can review the trip. starting to charge. So I'm not sure if this charger is working because the charger stopped after I plugged it in. But let's just do the review of the trip. So basically, the previous trip I started with about 92%, and basically I used 71.9. Unfortunately, this rated. I can change it to current drive. It says I used 30% more than rated, so clearly I was driving a bit faster than optimal to get the rated range. But obviously highway driving, that is what you expect. But basically I consumed about 3% more than they projected on the highway driving anyways, and I used 220 watt-hours per kilometer, did 182 kilometers in 1 hour 31 minutes. So I'm gonna have to back up and try another charger because it seems like these chargers are not working. Okay, so this is actually the first time I've arrived at the superchargers and I've had to wait because 3 stalls are broken. Actually, there's one broken there. The 2 that I was next to earlier was broken as well. And there's more stalls coming soon, but these haven't been deployed yet. But basically, it's Easter weekend, so it's obviously a lot of people on the road. So I'm gonna have to wait. I'm not sure how long, and obviously now it hasn't registered that I need to stop at Alcacer because I'm at Alcacer. It thinks that I'm continuing my trip to Fatima, which means I'll arrive with negative 45, and it's telling me that I need to charge, of course. So I'm just gonna wait here. Okay, so we finally got a spot. I met some other Tesla owners here, and basically we were planning on going to the next supercharger, which is not the next one, the one around here in Montemar Novo, but that's unnecessary now. So I'm going to keep charging until we're basically full so we can continue to Fatima and then Matosinhos. Okay, so normally if I'm going to charge for this long, I might as well charge at 100%. I had to wait a while. There was a delay, obviously people were waiting because some of the stalls aren't working. But basically I'm going to stop charging now because we're almost 100%, and it says 5 minutes is 100%, but at this point it usually takes another like 15 minutes, and we have more than enough range to get to Fatima because that's 175 kilometers away even if I drive really fast. So another thing I wanted to talk about before we go is my rated range went down from 399 kilometers to 395. Some of you had said that it could be due to me charging superchargers only, and if you plug it in at home for an extended period, it actually calibrates. So I'm not so sure about that. Let's see when I get a chance to charge at home again. But I'm going to stop charging now, and then we can continue our trip to Fatima, which is almost 2 hours away from here. Charging, you press stop charging, it'll stop, and press unlock charge port, and then you can just unplug it. So plug it again, and then we are ready to go. Cool. So we'll continue our trip and we'll see you guys in Fatima. So we were meant to charge at Fatima and we were on the way, but the car actually rerouted me to Vilamoura because it said it's rerouting to a less busy supercharger. As you can imagine, as I said earlier, at Alcacer do Sol, it is Easter weekend, so clearly a lot of people on the roads. Fatima is pretty big, so I'm quite surprised that it's full. Vilamoura is further away, but I do have enough charge to get there. So I should be arriving in Vilamoura with 10% charge. So this trip has changed slightly, but it is good to know that your Tesla is well connected to the supercharger network, knowing, you know, if it's too busy, trying to optimize your trip basically. So I think that's pretty cool. And now we're not going to be stuck in Fatima for another hour or so waiting for a charge, and it knows to go to Vilamoura instead. Okay, so it looks like probably the chargers are becoming available at Fatima because it rerouted us back to Fatima again, and we are going to be charging pretty soon because Fatima is much closer. We're going to be arriving in the next 5 minutes, and as you can see up north here, the weather is actually pretty bad again. Also, another cool thing is because we're purchasing supercharger now, it's actually preconditioning heating up the battery. What's nice about this display is that I can actually see what the current battery temperature is. So it's currently 37 degrees. I'm not sure what the temperature needs to be for it to be optimum for fast charging, but there's all these different screens. As you can see, you can change to them by clicking this button. So yeah, that's pretty cool benefits of having this information. Okay, so we arrived here at Fatima. It actually says I need to charge in Milharda as well if I only charge 5 minutes, but I'm obviously going to charge much more than that, so I probably won't need to stop at Milharda. It had a wait symbol over there before I arrived, and as you can see, there's definitely a wait here. This is the queue, and there are the chargers, so all the chargers are occupied. At least over here it's easier to figure out where you queue, because at Alcacer there's no queue set up, so we were just parked wherever. So it's probably going to take another 20 minutes for us to get a stall, but I'll charge as much as I can before heading further into Matosinhos. I'm charging here. We are next. We waited about 15-20 minutes and now we have a spot. It is very full here and the rain got really bad, so I'm gonna start charging. This guy's next to me, the stall's not working, and as you can see, there's lots of cars still waiting to charge, and the rain just started bucketing down now. So I'm going to charge to 100%. It says 35 minutes to continue trip, and if I charge to full, I'm not actually sure how long it's going to take because it didn't show you that. But yeah, I'm going to try charge to full, so we can just go straight to Matosinhos. And I ordered a soup from the restaurant. Unfortunately, my baby Finn is not allowed in the restaurant because no dogs are allowed, so I ordered a takeaway soup, and the people were very friendly. I'm actually going to speak to the guy that is over there because he actually recognized me from last time when I was here making videos. They actually wanted me to open the cabinet. They wanted to open the cabinet for me so that I can take a clearer picture of the merchandise, and I asked them if it was the first supercharger here, and they said yes, this is the first one in Portugal, so there is definitely quite a loyal following. Here's some footage of, all the activities that have happened here, and some pictures of the background and some cool Elon Musk stickers as well. To head back now and chat to the guy while we wait for it to charge. It's probably going to take about an hour to get to full. It says it's the first supercharger in Portugal, January 2018, 2nd of January 2018.
So basically what you can see right here, those are the boxes where the superchargers were inside.
Okay, this is the frame. It's actually the boxes.
The boxes where they were in.
Oh wow, okay,
yes.
That's pretty
So
cool.
I saw the logos there, and I thought it would be interesting to actually create some sort of display, as you can see here. The first one tells a little bit of the story of the supercharger, so where there was nothing.
Okay.
So there was the before. This is the construction site. This is the first supercharger.
Yeah.
The first car supercharging in this first supercharger.
Okay.
From a guy called Pedro.
Okay, interesting.
And this is
So how was he charging before the supercharger?
Oh, this guy is unbelievable. Pedro basically is always hunting for the new superchargers across Europe, mainly in Portugal. But yeah, he finds apparently even before Tesla sometimes.
Okay.
It's just yes. You can. He's quite active on Facebook.
Okay.
Here you can see the first phase of the project.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is the completion of the first phase.
Okay.
Here is another view of the supercharger on the old times where you could see only one car. Now,
nice.
completely different story.
As we saw earlier.
Absolutely.
Outside,
Absolutely.
Especially now on Easter weekend. It's
Yes,
very busy,
yeah, super busy, and it's expected to be like that. So Tesla is delivering a lot of cars in Portugal, so it's absolutely unbelievable. Here was an event. We had the Christmas event for 2023. As you can see, plenty of Teslas. Yeah. So it was a very nice event we had here. This was a previous event. I cannot recall what was the reason. Maybe just a gathering. Here was another spectacular event we had here. This is a guy from America called Yu.
Okay.
Who drove his car
From America?
Oh, wow. Well,
Okay.
not really
On
in the boat. It was the first Model 3 in Portugal. Okay.
Oh wow, awesome. Okay.
So we came here. People could try the car for the first time, even before he was here in Portugal. So it was a great event. So here you've got the 3 models that existed back then. Yeah, that's pretty much on here. We've got the the Tesla Christmas light show that was done in the heliport here. We've got an heliport.
Okay.
So we displayed here a Christmas tree, as you can see. It was an absolutely spectacular, yeah, absolutely amazing. Here you go. Several people, friends, customers, clients that they kind of created a relationship with us. So that this portrays different parties that we held here, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, sometimes people take a picture. They ask to display it here, and that's it, pretty much.
Thank you very much, Antonio.
Anytime.
So Antonio's the owner of the restaurant over here. The food is really good. I do recommend checking it out when you guys come through to when you guys charge in here in Fatima. Even if you're just passing by, be sure to check out the place. There's some really cool merch. As I showed you earlier, there's some stickers over there and some merch as well. I'll show you the cabinet with all the cool merch, and Antonio's going to open up for us so we can take a look at what's for sale here at the Floresta restaurant as well. So if you guys are Tesla owners and Tesla fans, you guys can pass through here, and they have all the original accessories and merch that you can get, including the new Cybertruck merch as well. I mean, the Cybertruck hat's actually on sale for €10. So definitely come through and check it out. And thank you again, Antonio.
Thank you.
So we just came from the Floresta restaurant where we met Antonio, and I ordered myself a soup takeaway. It's my first meal of the day, almost 3 p.m. And basically, Antonio actually showed me something that they had in the back that wasn't on display yet. It's Tesla merch, and I got it because it's so cute. This is the dog mode dog. So how cool is this? It's official Tesla merch. I've never actually seen this before. It's called Dog Mode Mini. It's pretty cool. And he also gave me some gifts. He gave me a Tesla Portugal sticker. As you can see, I also got to write in the book as well, which is pretty cool. And he also gave me a Tesla balloon. So this is a balloon that you can use at the beach. Basically, it's a Tesla balloon. That's pretty cool. So I'm trying out this vegetable soup. I just ordered a soup because I actually did pack in some food, so I might eat that after this if I'm still hungry. But the food here is really good, so highly recommend checking out the restaurant, even if you don't have a Tesla and you're just driving past. Antonio gave us a nice overview of the history of the superchargers. This place was the first place that had a supercharger in the whole of Portugal, and that was 2nd of January in 2018. And this is a cool community here. As you can see, there was a lot of cool meetups that happened, like the light show in December last year for the Christmas light show. And yeah, so if you guys are passing through, be sure to stop by the restaurant. The food's really good, so I'm keen to come back again next time. Now we're on our way. I did need to charge to full. I remember this was the case last time as well. To get to Matosinhos, I would arrive with about 34%, and basically it is about 200 kilometers away, so we still have a long way to go. We do seem to be on schedule despite some of the delays, so it hasn't been too bad with the charging. When I arrive, I'll do a lowdown of how much energy we use for the trip, and I will show you the full stats of charging, how much it costs, as well as how long everything took at the end of the video. Next thing I want to talk about while we drive on the way to Matosinhos in Porto direction is basically what it's like to have owned this car for almost 6 months now and having driven about 10,000 kilometers. So going back, I would definitely have made an order for this car again. In terms of value, I think it is the best car you can get at this price point, considering it really punches above its weight. Starting in Portugal, at least, starting price of 39,900 euros. I added a few options, so mine was slightly more than that. The one thing that I probably wouldn't have added if I knew about this and I got the free trial was Autopilot Enhanced, because that costs 3,800 euros, only for me to find out that it doesn't work the same way in Portugal as it does in the US. So for example, if I wanted to change lanes, I need to nudge the wheel for it to work. It doesn't do auto lane changes, even with Navigate. So what happens with Navigate is that it would tell you when you need to take the turn off, but it doesn't actually take the turn off for you unless you manually initiate the nudge. So it is a bit annoying, considering there's not a cheap upgrade. So if you are interested in buying a Tesla and you don't have a referral code already, please consider using mine, because you get up to 3 months of free Autopilot Enhanced or FSD depending on your region to test out so that you can see whether it's worth it for you before you buy it in the app yourself. So one of the downsides that I felt about this car was kind of an upside in the beginning. So basically, this car has very comfortable suspension. It is much more comfortable and smoother than the Model 3, the previous Model 3, and the Model Y. The Model Y actually felt a bit stiffer than this for some reason. But with that being said, this car suspension is kind of soft, especially coming from BMW M Sports vehicles before, where the suspension's particularly stiff. So in terms of comfort, it's great, but in terms of, you know, taking corners at higher speeds, or even just driving at higher speeds, whoops, I just went over the Autopilot speed limit there. Now it's going to be unavailable for the rest of the drive. So if you guys didn't know about that, if you engage Autopilot, you cannot exceed the Autopilot speed limit. So in Europe, in kilometers per hour, 140 kilometers per hour is the highest you can Autopilot at. If you step on the accelerator and go beyond that, as I was, because some people were behind me, it actually disengages. Luckily it doesn't give you a strike, so you can't get striked out like that. It just disables the rest of the drive. So I would have to stop on the side of the road or something to reactivate it if I really wanted to, but it's okay. I'm just going to drive manually for the rest of the drive. Another downside of this car, after owning it for so many months, was in December last year they had a recall update in the US. Basically there was a lawsuit against Tesla where apparently a lot of accidents and stuff was caused due to Autopilot. So there's an update that was deployed in December last year that made the car have much more stringent Autopilot. So what happened is you can get striked out now. So after 5 strikes, you get Autopilot disabled for a week, which is quite inconvenient. As I mentioned earlier, it doesn't reset the counter after a week. It actually just resets your Autopilot after you've been striked out the final time. So you could be striked out 4 times, and then months later get struck out the 5th time, and that 5th time will reset after a week. So it is a bit annoying because when you're on your 4th time, you start feeling a bit anxious and nervous. But I've gotten the hang of it now. You basically need to be looking ahead at the road and making sure that you nudge the wheel every few seconds with this new Autopilot. So I felt like the Autopilot kind of got downgraded a bit. I am still waiting for the new features that were coming soon for a long time. So I think this would be the saving grace for the enhanced Autopilot that I have. When I got the vehicle, Auto Park and Smart Summon was not available because these vehicles do not have the ultrasonic sensors. And through updates, they released, Tesla Vision High Fidelity, which is pretty cool. And with that, they've recently, as of this month in the US, started rolling out updates for Auto Park. So that's only available for enhanced Autopilot and FSD. So once I get that, I don't know if Auto Park is worth 3,800 euros and manually having to nudge the wheel so it can automatically change the lane for you on the highway is worth 3,800 euros. But given that I already paid it, it's not like I can get a refund for it. So getting Auto Park would be a good, bonus of having upgraded initially. What I love about this car, I didn't really get to appreciate how much better the new Model 3 is compared to the old one, because I haven't actually seen the old one, or haven't been in the old one for a long time, since 2022. And when I got to compare this to the Model Y, that's when I realized, wow, this is actually a fantastic upgrade. The doors are much more solid. Everything in the interior is much more premium than before. For this price point, I do think that it's kind of approaching German luxury car level at steel, basically, because for the equivalent, power, range, EV from Mercedes or BMW, you're looking at least a 30% premium from the Model 3, and I would say like a electrified 3 Series or the i4. Other benefits about the Tesla is that, specifically in Portugal, the Tesla Superchargers are much cheaper than the third-party chargers. So if I had gotten another vehicle, obviously they also have incentives, like BMW gives you, I think, 6 months free charging when you buy the car. Besides those incentives, general charging at charging stations are much cheaper than Tesla Superchargers. Very convenient, fast, no need to use an app, no need to tag anything or tap anything on the charger. You just plug it in and it starts charging and builds your account directly. So I still think that Tesla has the most integrated, up-to-date software compared to any other EV manufacturer out there. The fact that it could recognize that the supercharger station was full and reroute me to another supercharger was an indication of how advanced they are, right? Because you basically are completely connected to the whole Tesla network, be it the cars, the superchargers, the updates. So I think in terms of technology, this has everything that you need and more. The only other massive complaint I have about this car, and fortunately I don't live in a place that rains a lot, but the windscreen wipers, and that's not an issue with just the Model 3. I tested this out in the Model S as well, the Model S Plaid, and the windscreen wipers are extremely slow. So this is the fastest windscreen wipers can go. I would say this is half the speed in my previous BMW. So if you're in a really rainy area that is bucketing all the time, I'm not sure, maybe vehicles in those areas are adjusted, I don't know, but these windscreen wipers are definitely too slow if you're in a place that rains a lot, very heavily rather. If I had test drove a few different Teslas before ordering, and I had access to finance by the time I arrived here in Portugal, to be honest, I probably would have ordered the Model S, because the Model S is just so cool. And obviously I could have just put the amount that I put down for this car as down payment for Model S and paid a small installment every month. But the Model S is just on another level. Even the base model, right? The base model, there's a base model in the Plaid. The base model is already dual motor, already very fast, and the interior trim and quality is phenomenal. I do think the door closing is still better than the Model 3, the new Model 3 versus the Model S. Hopefully they update that soon to the Model S. But yeah, so that's, I guess, my overall verdict. If you guys have any questions regarding this car, you know, join the community, add me on Instagram. You're welcome to message me or tag me. Also welcome to leave a comment in the box below, and everyone else can answer your questions. I try to answer your questions as well. And if there's anything that you want me to make a review about specifically, drop it in the comments box below and I will find time to make that video for you. We are arriving in Matosinhos and we are quite ahead of schedule. We saved about 10 minutes from the predicted time from Fatima, and basically it is raining here. We're going to get a very different experience this time being here compared to the previous time. The previous time we came here was very sunny, and the locals were telling us that that is not normal of this northern part of Portugal. So this time we'll probably get a more accurate representation. We're going to be here for a few days, so according to the weather reports it looks like it's going to be raining every single day, and I'm curious to experience how it's going to be, because I haven't really lived in a place that rains constantly. So I'm going to see if I like it. As long as there's cool activities you can do during the rain. Some places that I've lived, everything kind of shuts down during raining time. Even now in Algarve, when it starts raining, I don't think anyone does anything because they don't know how to deal with the weather. So we're almost at where we need to be. Actually going to stop by at an apartment block to take a look at view a house quickly, apartment, and when I stop there I will do a review of how far we drove and do a review of the consumption, and right at the end of the video I'll also include the total cost of charging, how many kilowatts charged, as well as total distance traveled.
And we still haven't decided where we're going to live yet, so...
Oh yes, so I guess the other reason why we're here is obviously we're enjoying our Easter weekend, but also we're going to move to Lisbon. We're probably also going to move to Lisbon eventually, either now or later, but we didn't sign a contract, it fell through, so we didn't get that apartment. We're still looking, so we're still deciding between Lisboa and Matosinhos. So I know some of you have commented already in the previous videos that it's mad for us to move up north. I mean, look at this weather now, you can see why some of you might have the hesitation. But yeah, what do you guys think? People that have lived in Portugal, or people from Portugal, Lisboa or Porto, which one's better? Okay, so we have finally arrived. We drove 211 kilometers from Fatima and 1 hour 47 minutes, and basically that used 44 kilowatt hours. I have 20% left, and the consumption, let's take a look. So I used 12.9 more than trip projection and 26.2 more, because obviously it's highway driving. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the range. We basically drove, the theoretical will probably be around 260, 270 kilometers for highway driving, which isn't too bad. Here's a summary of how much everything costs and how many kilowatts we added. So pause the video if you want to take a look. Remember to hit the subscribe button if you like my videos, and smash the like button. Thank you for watching my videos, and we'll see you again on our next road trip next time.